Hello? Can anyone hear me out here? Hello? AC, thank God, man. I've been floating out here, man. This is crazy. Whoa! I almost got hit by that one.
What the fuck's going on?
The last thing was that guy in the blue Boy Scout uniform. He yelled at us that he was going to send us to the Phantom Zone, and I ain't seen anything since. I think I lost existence for a sec. Are you all right? You're kind of.
Something ain't right here.
You got to kind of you want to just whistle, and that kind of helps you move around, like. Yeah. Oh, no, too hard. There you go. You get it now. Yeah. You gotta go to like a frequency that only the dogs hear. You're good, man.
I'm gonna put my hands down now. I don't know why they were up to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't have that. Like maybe you got a different thing.
Yeah. Remember when I told you to buy those Momoas?
The Momoas.
Yeah.
What's a Momoa again? Is that the snake?
It's a cookie.
The Momoa. Oh, right.
It's like cookie.
Like the Hawaiian ones or the Samoan ones? Momoas.
They got coconut and caramel.
I'm drooling for some reason. I can't remember.
It's almost like
why.
a grasshopper. You know the thing that the fudge cookies make? The elfin fudge.
Yeah, I can't stop salivating for some reason. I can't remember anything, but I'm drooling like a dog over here. Like some kind of Pavlovian dog.
It's delicious.
Yeah. So what happened to him?
Well, you remember that person you were speaking of in the uniform. Well, this is going to sound really strange, okay? Because it was a man, but he was selling Girl Scout cookies.
Had a real deep voice.
Yeah, we're talking like, you want to buy some cookies?
I just expelled a little air for some reason. I can't remember why, but it was like another Pavlovian response.
That makes sense to me.
Man, I don't know anything. All I know is I'm Corey Snide. I think this is the Snide show. It's not the Snide show I knew of. I mean, we're stuck out here. What else are we going to do with a podcast?
I mean, that's what I assumed.
Yeah. Who are you again?
Oh, they call me AC.
AC, that's right. AC. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's
doesn't
AC,
matter.
Man. It's. I remember you did this, and then you do that. Or that. Yeah, that's how you represent. Well, that said California over here, but I remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget everything. I see it all backwards.
Is that part of the curse, or is that like...
I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long.
Yeah, man. Well, it's great to be here. I think it's great. It's great to see you. Familiar face out here in the wilds of space.
Speaking of,
yes, sir.
So, believe this is where we're going to talk about space-related things.
I mean, it's the only thing I can think of now, aside from that and Momoa cookies.
Oh my God. So good.
So let's see if they got the internet out here. There were some things we didn't even get to in our previous discussions. That's not it. I know we were talking about some topical things. I'm still waiting on updates on some of those things. If first episode of the all new Snide show, we had Rye, and we kind of got updated on like the casino and the park. Parks come along, casinos coming along, but with a lot of people quabbling about it, dude. A lot of people quabbling about it.
Always.
Yeah, so we got. Let's see here. What did you want to start with, man? There was some planets out here that you came across.
Oh yeah, some of the planetary stuff going on. Well, of course, you know there's a lot of other solar systems and such out there in existence. And we came across one that's essentially now. This is exactly what would happen if Earth stopped moving, but okay. So this planet is actually called K2141b, and this planet it's got a locked trajectory. It doesn't spin or orbit or anything like that. It just stays in one spot.
God. Just that one side's always exposed to the sun.
Always day
Jeez.
24/7. The other side is night 24/7. So one side is literally like negative 200 degrees all the time. The other side is 5,700 degrees 24/7.
What's that in kelvins?
Actually, it's funny because the article that I was reading actually goes into that. It goes that deep into it. Let's take a look here and read some of this research. In kelvins, let's see, that's 3,000 degrees.
Jeez. That's a lot of kelvins, man. And kelvins are like, that's that hardcore scientific shit, man. Yo, and you know what my first thought was when I saw this? You know what my first thought was? Mustafar. Don't, Anakin! I have the high ground!
Well, it's funny. Now, that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense, and that almost fits. Of course, you remember the Chronicles of Riddick?
Yeah, man.
The only difference was on that planet, what was it? Crematoria.
Yes.
That planet, it did rotate. It just rotated so slowly that half the planet was always molten, the other half was always frozen.
Yeah, man, fire and ice. Okay. AC, I got a proposition here for you, boy. Dude, you're immortal, okay? You're immortal. Nothing can kill you. You can always still move like you're superhuman, but you're banished to one side of this planet. Only one side. You can't go anywhere else. Do you get stuck on the hot side or the cold side? The light side or the dark side?
See, now that's a tough one. But here's the thing. Me being as teeny tiny little man as I am, I'm always cold as it is.
Yeah.
And when I was working all the time, I was working in a cooler that was literally a refrigerator. And to me, that was a slow hell.
I see.
So
with
perhaps...
With one L.
Yes. That would be the Nordic version and not the traditional Christian hell, which would be the opposite spectrum here on the other side. Ooh. And it's a conundrum because I don't like getting incredibly hot either.
Oh my goodness.
So, but let's look at it from a mathematical perspective here. Which is worse? 5,700 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 200 degrees Fahrenheit?
Jeez. Good old fashioned Fahrenheit, man. We don't play with. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Celsius. Yeah. All right. Shit. Yeah. I think I have my answer, but I'm more curious. What's your answer?
Well, I mean, you're never gonna die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, you're immortal. You're superhuman strength, so you don't get frozen. You don't get like popping or anything. You're just, you know, you're there. You know, you're Doctor Manhattan.
So let me put it this way. With that perspective,
Hmm.
if you're standing on the molten side 24/7, are you going to see anything other than molten lava? I mean, you're not, there's nothing. You're just going to always be seeing yellow, orange, and red. That's
You're
it.
blowing my mind right now because I think you're going where I was going.
You go into the dark side of the moon.
Going to the dark side, better views, boy.
Exactly. I mean, hey,
I think that's crazy. You went to the same place I did, where it was like, where's the better views? Over here, I'm just getting like blinded all day by fucking. Over there, I can see some stars, maybe a little aurora borealis action, maybe a little bit of constellations. Constellations.
and that's what's the whole point of space is
Yeah,
exploration, all
if I'm
that stuff.
exiled
That's
to,
what you want to see.
if
You
I'm
don't want to see
exiled
a
to
whole
hell,
bunch of
yeah.
fire. If that's the case, I can just go grab a bic and
Yeah, yeah.
good to go.
Probably unless you got a superpower Bic, that's not starting. But yeah, maybe you got a utility belt that you got banished with. I don't know why in this I had to go comic book where it's like, you know, superhuman has been banished somewhere, and like they have to choose, like it's yin and yang type shit. 1,000 years. So saith the tribunal.
And let it shall be.
Yeah. So yeah, that was from, let's see. That was an article on Earth Sky from Paul Scott Anderson, just a site there. Yeah, it's this impression here kind of looks like Tatooine, but it'd be like molten. It'd be like magma.
Yeah, you're
Magma.
talking about the image that they have about halfway down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look a little Tatooine, but I bet they don't feel like Tatooine.
Now, if you go down a little bit further, that looks like some kind of Death Star to me. The second picture down.
It really does. It really does. Yo, so it's kind of like fucking let's see. Hold on, something reminded me for a second. It's like, you know, if you're superhuman, you got strength and immortality. That doesn't mean you don't feel everything, because what does Wolverine say?
Feels it every time. That's
Every
right.
time. So like you're still kind of, you know, you could probably, you know, jog a little bit and get used to that cold, but that hot all the time would just be like,
Yeah.
paralyzing.
Well, I mean, if you remember from the Wolverine, when that bomb goes off and he saves that dude, I mean, he gets charred. You can see the pain, and that's how it would be 24/7.
That was one of my favorite Wolverine moments. That fucking, people can say what they want about that movie. I thought it was like a real good return to form, or it kind of led to Logan. You know, we got more into the pathos and the ethos and the emotions and shit. But yeah, man, like, I love how he pulled a Cotton Hill, bro. He pulled a Cotton Hill. He was in Japan and Germany at the same time.
He did. He did. Now, boy.
Where'd you go? I got the Tojos, and I got the, I forgot what he called the Germans, like.
Oh God, what did he call them?
I can't remember. It was another kind of.
I think he called them Nazis, but
Yeah, Nazis. That's it. Those are Nazis. I got Tojos and Nazis.
Tojos and the Nazis, nanny boy.
Yeah, that shows. Yeah, I love that shit. I love Cotton Hill, man. Cotton Hill, dude. I did a recent. I finally, you know, what's funny about Hulu and the way things cycle on there. Like I got halfway through King of the Hill, it was gone. Came back, they remembered my history. They remember where I was, and I just picked it right back up like 5 years later.
Now, I do have to say, though, however, there is one major flaw with Hulu that does piss me off. beyond anything else. Alright, so let's say you have watched all of a series, and you want to go back and watch said series again. Well, Hulu has an issue where if you've gotten to the end of that episode, it doesn't realize you've made it all the way to the end because it skips the end credits and goes to the next one. So when you go back to watch it again, it starts at the very end of every single episode.
Every single time.
Period.
And sometimes if you're rewatching it with someone who hasn't watched it before, you're like, no, spoilers, no look, no spoilers.
Exactly. Or maybe, let's say you have a 4-year-old who likes to watch Curious George all the time.
I could imagine.
There's a temper tantrum coming.
He's like, no, I'm pretending I haven't watched this one. No spoilers.
You go, oh no!
He goes into the 4-year-old version of that.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, not funny, but, it's funny odd, not funny clown. Not funny like a clown. No Joey Pesci. Man. Oh, man. This is a delight. I wasn't so sure about doing this remotely, man. People can't tell, you've obviously got the green screen. You've taken over the logo. That's where your zone is. This is actually a green screen. I'm in like an industrial warehouse right now. I had to pick this up where I could. I don't have half my equipment. But I threw on a green screen, and I got like what looks like the studio behind me, So we do what we got to do for things to look better. Hey, could you keep that down? Thank you. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'm on the run. People don't know where I am. Starts with a B, ends with Olivia. Yeah. Was that too much? We'll bleep it. So speaking of,
It's fine.
Getting back into. I think we mentioned constellations at some point. You got an interesting thing here that I had never taken into consideration. I've been a Musk booster, that is until you learn about his kind of Tony Stark-esque demons, and this may be one of them. I don't know.
You're referring to the Elon Musk satellites for SpaceX, correct?
Yeah. What is this? What's the deal with this?
This was an interesting one because I actually came across this because me and my wife we were smoking outside of the ship. Not that kind of smoking, smoking.
No. Well, I've seen you. Sometimes you do the French thing. Sometimes you do the.
I do. I know. So we were outside, and there was all these freaking like orbs just floating, and then there was one that was in like it was a triangular pattern. And of course, everybody out there's like, oh god, here we go, here goes an alien conspiracy. So look at this guy, he thinks he's funny. No. See, at first we were thinking, well, that's got to be the president. It's got to be the president. And then
because Air Force One, right?
Because of Air Force One, they had to fly in that pattern.
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, there comes like 10 more, and then there's like a whole line of like 60 of these bad boys. And so, of course, when I pull out my phone, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna check. What the fuck is this? Well, I come back inside and I decide, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna Google this thing. I'm gonna find out what's going on. Turns out it's Elon Musk's, his SpaceX for the small satellite thing. It's like 60 small satellites, and you'll see them going in like streams, like real slow and then fast.
Oh, I see here. Yeah. You sent me the article from the Guardian here. Dr. Stu Clark. All right.
Dr. Stu Clark. And I don't know if you open it up, there should be.
Yeah, I got the one where it looks like it's a time lapse of the different things, and it's like they like a time lapse of them, like as they've moved. And so I see where it kind of creates constellations over time. Now, I do notice a lot of satellites, especially being here on the wayside. of Christiansburg, and you always know a satellite because you don't actually see the object, you just see the light of it. And for a second, you could mistake it for a star. They have different assortments of lights and stuff, but I think these are just were they just solid white lights?
Yeah, they were just solid white lights.
Okay, okay.
And it was, but here's the thing that'll really throw you if you when you first see them, because they're floating out in space. They're not like ships or planes or
Yeah, they're like in between like the stratosphere and like it's technically I think they call it inner space. Inner
yeah, I believe
space.
yeah, you were correct. It is inner space, and the way things move around out there, it's like not exactly like floating in water, but not streamlined either. So it looks optically like they're stopping and then going, or like they're hovering, or sometimes they can even look like it's going back and forth, back and
Sure.
forth.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's moving in a straight line.
Right. It's some
So
sort of illusion or something.
and this is where I see all of the space people like aliens, bro, aliens. But it's not. I assure you, it's not.
I know. I'm Fox Mulder over here, bro. I want to believe, and I've had those phases in life where I mean there's maybe one experience where I'm 100% sure that what I was seeing was an unidentified aircraft because it wasn't moving like satellites, wasn't moving like, and this is before there were as many satellites. I mean, I know there were still satellites, but they seemed to be plane like, but they moved at strange speeds and stuff. But I've rested on that was some sort of experimental aircraft, because it was like, we have these airports near us. We also have ROTC, and I've been told by friends of friends that sometimes they get access to fly at speeds or heights or in aircrafts that aren't exactly public knowledge, and I've been told they do it as pranks sometimes to certain neighborhoods. They'll like fly like a little close, not dangerously, but just enough to like make a lot of noise or scare people or whatever. But I think that's what I saw at that time was some sort of like strange kinds of aircrafts, or maybe even this is before drones were such a big thing, or at least is available. So they might have been drones moving. Sometimes I've seen where people do light shows with these drones, where it's like, they make it look like a bigger thing, or that it's moving at speeds that it's not. If you have 3 drones blinking at these lights, like you can make it look like something's moving fast, So it's probably something like that. This is totally different, and I've seen people freaking out about like, oh, it's a UFO. It's like, no. And they're like, how can a star move like that? It's like, it's not a star. It's a satellite. It's just a little computer, a little light on it.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same people, if a plane doesn't have the red and green lights on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Which, that's the ones you'll mainly see around here with like airports and stuff, but it's like, I don't know, like there are different kinds of crafts, especially military crafts. There's things, the Black Hawk. They say that the Black Hawk used to be if it's the thing I'm thinking of, but also like B-52s, things like that. Like they were, they are probably responsible for a lot of sightings, I think, through the 70s and 80s, because people didn't know it existed, but it already existed at that point.
Right. And that's, I mean, the only real mystery that I am curious about, and I know there's probably
the cows.
No, what, the cows?
No, go ahead. We'll get to that one day.
Yes, I'm only kidding. Of course I know what you're talking about, but now is not the time. Then, I'm talking about the Black Knight satellite. That's the one that's got me very curious.
Yeah.
Now, I think we did go over
a little bit.
The Black Light one time before. Of course, I think that was one of our lost episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
It might be. Yeah, now that you mention it. There's so often that with a K.
Yes. Black Knight with a K.
There's another one of Musk's joints, right?
No, this one's been around for a real long time.
No. That's right. We did talk about this. This is when we first got into aliens. That's right. You know, sometimes when it doesn't make it to air, I just
Tick.
yeah, just like delete. No reason to keep that around. Yes, the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory. There's been the space junk. It's in an unnatural shape. It has moved in unnatural patterns. It's a confirmed to exist thing. The reason why it's attributed to being the Black Knight is because they thought at one point it could have been the Black Knight rocket, which was like from a British thing. Of course, cool medieval name. Yeah, but it's like a legend, you know. But this thing, I love this picture so much. Man.
Yeah. This Black Knight satellite, man, is one of the coolest looking things I have seen floating around in space.
It looks like something out of the Outer Worlds, that video game, that Obsidian video game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like something out of that. Yeah, it's bugged out a lot of people. It's sad to see that there's not as much on the wiki about it. You know, the skeptics kind of keep, because that's the thing. I'm rational, but I'm not a skeptic. I'm not a believer. I'm somewhere in between. I like playing with ideas. I don't like believing in them. You can't see an idea. You can't touch an idea. I'm not going to give it any weight, but it's fun. It's fun to kick around the old cranial.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, the what if is a whole lot more fun than the here's a hard fact.
Yeah, but it's when people start acting on ideas that are not,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to remember an idea is an idea and not something, I'm going to take this and make it reality.
Yeah.
Well, let's back up a little bit here. Like, what was that thing? Storm Area 51? Good idea, guys. No one's going to get shot here, I'm sure of it.
I wonder if there's something that did happen there that we don't know about.
The storm, yeah, because it completely died and
they
never
turned it
spoken
into
up
a
again.
meme, or it may have been a meme from the beginning. Who knows? But and it became like, I remember the Vice piece, like only like 100 people showed up or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if like some people that did take it seriously, because you always wonder, like, you see the people in the woodwork on the internet, but you don't see them a whole lot in person. But maybe it's because they're so far out there, they can't really organize, so they just all day,
Yeah. Well, the other thing about Area 51, because like there's so many areas that exist that people are just completely unaware of, like Area 52, for example, or even Area 56, which is completely 100% underground in the shape of a honeycomb.
Yeah. Don't get we out here in space. We ain't under the ground yet, man. We'll get to the tunnels. We'll get to the facilities.
Have no fear, bro. I'm not going to get into all of it now.
We'll get into.
I'm
just. You want to get into it? We can get into it.
That's a part
just
2 there.
Steer us in there hard, yelling at you. No, let's not do that. But we did a little bit of the nonfiction. Did some things that may or may not be fiction. Let's get into some fiction. Where it's at, baby. Ooh, look it. Oh, that bad boy. Ooh.
Are we talking about what I think we're talking about?
This big drooly fucking Geiger-esque monstrosity.
Oh yeah.
It's like when Star Wars went back to Marvel. That was kind of a cool return to form, because we forget that where did it all start? Published months before the movie came out.
That's right. And I remember because I had that big, huge Star Wars comic, that massive one.
Yeah.
And it was from, what year was that from?
It was like 75.
I want to say it was like 74, 75.
Yeah, it came out.
I wish I still had it, but unfortunately I ended up giving it to somebody.
Right, right.
Oh, that's right. That kid Chase. I ended up giving it to him for his birthday because he was a super massive Star Wars fan.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I know. I mean, man, if I could have if I could have my Peter Mayhew signed back, those things. I mean, they fall through the
Wait a
cracks
minute.
sometimes.
You don't have that anymore?
No, I don't have that anymore. That got swiped.
Oh my God! I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, I think about it like every time I see. And then when he died, man, I couldn't help but think like, oh my god. I still have the pictures of me with him, so I mean that's something. And
See, no,
that'll
I
always
lost
be.
those. I don't even have those anymore.
I might could get you one back. I might could get you one back. But yeah, yeah, we got to meet that dude. We got to meet Peter Mayhew, the man, the myth, the legend, the fucking 7 foot tall wonder. Like he was a treasure, man. I love how he did that. Like right into the hall. He did like the kind of Willy Wonka thing, you know.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because he had to use a cane, like kind of starting early and stuff. But he never lost that fucking mane though, man. He had that fucking, you know, he had the full washing kit, man.
You guys, you gotta rock it.
Yeah, man. But anyways, I'm not quite sure about the Alien. Now we're talking about the Alien franchise, everyone. The what we got here came from Games Radar, but this was everywhere for a second. We got Chris Arendt, and with this big. Can you see it, AC? Can you see the big xenomorph?
Yes, yes.
Uh, yeah. So, but I always get excited about these things, especially extended universe things, because like you want to see these things continue, especially when you got like a bit. Some people say it washes the brand out when you put a big company behind it, but
Not necessarily.
exactly. I think more resources the better. The artist is getting paid more. Should be getting paid more. The writer should be getting paid more, at least than they do. Doing it freelance or out of some sort of small company. I haven't heard a whole lot of complaints from Marvel Comics recently, but I like the Star Wars comics they did. The Vader run was awesome. The Maul run was awesome, and now they're doing our favorite fucking hybrid species.
Xenomorphs. Yeah, I mean, the last movie that they came out with, I mean, it was a lower budget, was most of its problem, but it still, in my opinion, fit with the whole Prometheus storyline.
Mm.
And
You didn't like Covenant?
no, I did like it. What I was
Oh, you did
saying
like it. Okay, sorry.
is it had a lower budget than the other movies. That's
Sure.
a fact.
Sure, yeah, because Prometheus, how could you beat that budget, man? That was a beautiful. Say what you want about the story, the characters, acting. That was a beautiful looking movie.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they're still planning to do another two more movies, but the problem that they ran into was, now this is what I was saying, because it had a lower budget, it obviously didn't have as much as far as the effects and all that special, all that is more focused on the storyline. It didn't do so well in the box office. So because of that, it's been harder for them to fund to do the next movie.
Yeah, I feel bad because I didn't see it initially. I waited for that sort of to be able to see it at home, and it was mainly because I thought it was going to deviate from the Prometheus thing because a lot of people hated on it.
Right.
It was kind of got what the Star Wars prequels got, which was people were focused on the wrong things simply because it wasn't what they thought it should be. But they miss all this other stuff, the beautiful cinematography, the fun ideas that are then taken into the expanded universe, the shouts out to the predecessors, the return to certain forms but the changing of others. That I like that. I'm always an Elseworlds guy. As much as I love cohesive shit, I let's take a peek under the other rocks.
Yep.
Let's see what
I
else is
mean,
out there.
I'm all for that. Like I liked the combination of AVP. I did. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I loved Alien versus
It was
Predator. I
awesome.
thought it was awesome.
It was metal. It's metal as fuck. And they brought in and what's sad is they took it out of canon, or at least
I know.
parts of it, because and what's sad about it particularly is because they dropped some hints that it could sort of connect to the bigger like Isaac Asimov worlds or the bigger what's the other big one? Philip K. Dick's sort of worlds, the Blade Runner they
Yes.
did little nods to like this could be, which they're doing again kind of with David and stuff. It's very Blade Runner esque.
Yes.
And you know that kind of stuff is just really it's interesting. Do you really want to see another like purely xenomorph thriller like we've seen
Yeah.
it a few times?
Well, that's the thing too, because you've seen it. Your options are to either do something like it
Hmm.
or remake it.
Right.
And I mean, as much as I love the movie, I loved that movie. Does not mean I'm gonna like to see it remade 1,000
Hmm.
times, like everything else.
Yeah, like Freddy Krueger. Like
Yeah.
after a while, it's just like, all right, I've seen that in different places. Let's get into more of the nature of how this works. What like I liked how they were like kind of doing like some nods to the ancient alien, going back to aliens, ancient alien sort of heritage of ideas of like, what if we are an alien ant farm? That whole idea. And like, it just the fucking scene where David looks up proud at the engineer and the engineer looks down proud for a moment as well, and then it just turns to rage of like, no, this wasn't supposed to be. You're not ready for this, motherfuckers. Quit cheating your way up. There's so much to be said in that. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
not your time. It's not your Don't you feel that about the internet sometimes? We got here a little early.
Yes.
Maybe we weren't, you
Too
know,
early.
we weren't totally ready for this, but we're having a good time with it. That's the thing of aliens. Have a good time until that xenomorph fucking bites you in the ass.
Yeah, and it's going to,
It's
unless of
going
course
to.
you're Sigourney Weaver in Resurrection, and then maybe not. Then you're just
Yeah.
gonna make out with it.
Yeah, that was a little Shape of Water before
Okay.
Shape of Water. It's fascinating, man. So Marvel's going to do a run with it. Ooh, look at that too. That classic alien in space. No one can hear you scream.
I
Uh-oh.
love that.
Tom Skerritt. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. So this March, writer Philip Kennedy Johnson and artist Salvador Leroca, with coloring by Guru Effects. Oh, that's interesting. Will launch the Marvel comic book series Alien, featuring both new and classic characters from Earth and beyond. This bold take on the alien mythology will entertain both longtime fans and newcomers to the legendary horror science fiction saga. Marvel's press release reads, the new story will feature a Weyland-Yutani mercenary named Gabriel Cruz as he battles a deadly new breed of xenomorph with survival of his child hanging in the balance. Is that a new newt, perhaps?
Probably. Except the difference here is it's his child and not somebody else's that the main character has to save. But
Therefore,
then, of
they probably
course,
won't
doesn't.
kill it as a sacrificial lamb, like they did Newt. That was so. That was one of those things. This ongoing Marvel comic book series will begin March 2021, and now I'm in a flight simulator. Oh, I'm getting lost in a flight simulator. Okay, go away, flight simulator. Go away. There we go. Ooh, so this new oh yeah, there it is. There's the
Cover.
full. Ooh, Lee and Hugh did this cover here. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I love how chromium like or chrome like it looks like. Oh, beautiful. Number one. Beautiful. Just as a reader and fan, I was excited as everyone when I heard the franchise was coming to Marvel. And when they asked me to write the launch, I was floored. I've been training my whole life for this gig without even knowing it, Johnson says in the announcement. Ever since seeing Ridley Scott's Alien at way too young an age, as you should. You need to get Russ on that soon, boy. I'm just kidding. I've been obsessed with the xenomorph, the single most iconic representation of terror on film. I would agree with that. No, you know, Lil Banana would love this.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure of that.
She is so like hardcore, man, already. Like since she hit the ground running.
That's putting it way mildly. You don't even know how mild that is.
Probably not, man. Man, that's hilarious. Marvel's acquisition of the Alien franchise for comic books was announced simultaneously to the procurement of the Predator license.
Okay, now this is the thing. While Predator's popping back up, let me get this out because I gotta get this out. So I don't know if you're aware, but they did do another Predator movie about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, and it got spoiled for me, and I didn't really.
Okay. So you didn't watch it?
No. Sad. I should still.
Okay. So not only did it have looking like it had no budget.
Oh.
Its storyline was so stupid.
Oh, no.
It made no sense, and it didn't fit in with the rest of the movies. Like, if you enjoyed the first Predator, which of course I did,
yeah,
you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Predators was good. I loved Predators.
Yeah, the one where they go to or Adrian Brody and all them. They're on the planet. That was cool.
That was so cool.
But it's not even like a sequel to that. I don't even know where it fits in. To be honest with you,
I can't remember. Is it like we need a predator to hunt the predators or some shit like that, or like what? Like I remember hearing like there was a weird twist that I was like, well, they could have made that work, but like
yeah, okay. Basically,
go ahead and spoil it. It's fine.
Okay, so basically, they bioengineer like this dog-like predator thing.
Right.
They're using it to try and catch the predator, but of course it realizes it's a predator and not really human-made or whatever.
Let's make a worse monster.
Oh,
let's make a worse monster.
That's what I am. But you gave me a dog's body. Well, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat your face off instead of his face off because we have the same face.
I'm picturing the Freak on a Leash video, but with your face on the predator dog, where you.
That's
look here, buddy.
I'm actually picturing that now, and it's actually quite hilarious.
Yeah, oh my god, like man, I'm not there yet with the technology, but man, that'd be so great. I cut away to that if I figure it out.
We're gonna do a callback to this, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah, and get some of that in there. But on the predator dog's body, like. Let's make a worse monster. This is like a Brian Regan joke.
Yeah. Never got wrong before.
I love Predators. I love how they twisted that around, and like they did so many twisting arounds, but like, and that's how you can reinvent, the same idea, but shifting it. Like, they were in a similar environment to our boy Arnie. They were like, it turned out like he used a similar thing, but and then it turns out the Predator's not even the real fucking, villain. It's just that's how you reinvent that. They should have left it there, and from there do the crossovers or extended universe or whatever.
Yeah, they could have easily done a secondary Predators movie. That would have made more sense to expand on that storyline.
Even more in depth to the, but no, but for some reason, and I get this, but I feel it shouldn't diminish anything to fandom. You see it in the Star Wars universe of, no, I want the mystery. I don't want things explained. Just give me more of the same. You can change the environment or change this or that, but don't deviate too much from that. I don't want, they don't want midi-chlorians. They don't want, they don't, for some reason, they don't like new force powers, even though, let me get into that real quick while we're in space. I'm sick of people being like, force healing, there's no precedence for force healing. Force fields, there's no precedence for force fields. No, if you look in the expanded universe, these powers have been around. Like, dude, I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic again, and there's force healing and force fields in that. Like, so Leia in space, there's precedent for that. That is not out of nowhere. That's been done similarly in the universe. And Rey, like, healing things with the force, it's right there, man. Like,
well, here's my thing on it. It's like, okay, who are you to decide that?
Yeah.
Did you write it? Did you have any creative input whatsoever? Oh, you didn't. Okay, so then you go write your own, and you start making millions of dollars, and then you can make those calls. Until then, you should just enjoy what you're watching, or stop watching it.
And then,
Actually, Adam.
Hmm.
Actually, I did write Star Wars, and I was really mad at the things that Disney said, and so I'm the one behind all those mean Twitters.
Okay, so who sold that, and did you get a check for that?
Yeah, but
Yeah, so
I have
shut the fuck up.
I have buyer's remorse.
Alright, well, that was your own fault. You should have thought about that. You'll get no sympathy from
Maybe
me,
you're right,
sir.
Adam, but I'm just going to troll you later on the internet.
Oh, boy, that's what people like you do.
yeah, right.
I have a face right here. If you can't say it to it, you go ahead, you go on the internet, and you troll me all you want to. And guess what? I won't lose a wink of sleep over it. As a matter of fact, I'll sleep an extra 5 minutes just for you.
just to spite George Lucas. I love that. Oh my god. Oh man. So they're both Fox properties. Therefore, they're both now Disney. Therefore, they're both now Marvel. So Marvel hasn't specified plans, but he's going to get his own cool ass cover and his own cool ass, and it's probably going to do that Avengers thing where it's building up over time to them crossing over. Man, I wish I still had Comixology, man. This would be one of my first picks, man. Would be that. I might still get it on Amazon. Get these new aliens.
I mean, I'm gonna be looking into trying to figure it out for sure soon. Soon as it drops in March.
March. I gotta wait till March. Damn it. I gotta wait till March. I gotta wait till 2021 for the Predators. Why can't they do this like Netflix and just give it all to me once? Give it all to me once. Give it all to me once. Give it all to me once.
It's marketing.
What did you say?
It's marketing.
Give it all to me at once. Give it all to me at once.
You can't market it. No.
I love the idea of like someone who's really feeling threatened by that. Who's like you're like the inker, and you're like, we can't do that. It's like a coffee shop. You don't even really have to be listening to this. He's like looking at the news or like alien man. Shit, I gotta wait till March. Give it all to me at once. Give it all to me at once. Give it all to me at once. Wait, excuse me, sir. What'd you say to me? I said, give it all to me at once. Would you make this? Give it to me now. Give me them originals. Give me them prints. Give me them prints.
I want them for free.
Now. Right now. Dude.
It's my right.
Man, I can't fucking wait, man. Can't fucking wait. So you got anything else for this edition of the All New Snide Show?
Just everybody keep out because there's big things that come in this year.
Oh, yeah.
Big things.
Yeah.
Enormous
We didn't
things.
even get into that, man. We're going to have to do another episode. Shit.
Yes, we're gonna have to do at least one more episode.
All right, man. Well, everyone out there in the universe, whether or not you're in the Phantom Zone like us, stay snide and you know, all I want, what I want more than a return to Earth, AC. You know what I want?
What?
I want
What do
people to. You really want to know?
I really want to know?
I want people to check out the recommended videos we got. I want people to like and subscribe and comment, as they can see, things are getting,
Well, that's true. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about
they're
that.
getting better. I couldn't fault them before, but now that we got some good videos, check them out, guys. Check them out.
You're pretty good.
Add them to your watch later. Add them to your podcast playlist. If you're listening to this, and you're not watching it. Check out the YouTube, man. It's pretty cool.
And not just us. Anytime you watch something, you enjoy it, it helps us all out.
Indeed.